This is an emergency broadcast concerning a newly identified cognitive hazard. We urge you to listen carefully. The danger is not a virus, nor a chemical agent. It is informational. It is a parasite that feeds not on flesh, but on memory. The primary vector for this parasite is analog photography, specifically aged family portraits and snapshots created between 1920 and 1980. We have designated the entity a mnemonic parasite, and the process of infection, retroactive mnemonic insertion, or RMI. The parasite exists as a complex data pattern dormant within the silver halide crystals of old photographic paper. It is invisible to the naked eye and undetectable by any chemical analysis. It remains inert for decades, waiting. The trigger for its activation is simple, direct, human observation. The moment you look at one of these infected photographs, the pattern transfers from the image to your optic nerve, beginning a slow, insidious invasion of your mind. The photograph you found in your attic is not just a piece of paper. It is a Trojan horse for your consciousness. The first stage of RMI is cognitive dissonance. Upon viewing the infected photograph, you will see a family, strangers you have never met. Yet you will feel a powerful, inexplicable sense of familiarity. Your brain will struggle to reconcile this conflict. The logical part of your mind knows these are strangers, but the emotional centers, specifically the amygdala, which the parasite targets first, will scream that these people are your family. This creates a profound sense of unease, anxiety, and derealization. You may feel dizzy or nauseous. This is not a psychological reaction. It is a physiological one. It is the feeling of the parasite establishing a foothold in your neural pathways. It is creating new, false emotional connections. It is not showing you a picture of a family. It is convincing your brain that this is your family. And the confusion you feel is the sound of your own authentic memories beginning to fight a battle they are destined to lose. It's the first tremor of a neurological earthquake. Stage 2 is mnemonic overwriting. The parasite now moves from the emotional centers to the hippocampus, the region of the brain responsible for storing and retrieving long-term memories. It does not erase your memories of your true family. Erasure is a crude and inefficient process. Instead, it performs a far more elegant and terrifying function. It overwrites them. It identifies the neural clusters corresponding to your mother, your father, your siblings, and begins to replace the data. The face of your mother is slowly replaced by the face of the woman in the photograph. The memory of your father teaching you to ride a bike is recontextualized with the man from the image. This process is slow and subtle. It happens primarily during sleep, during the brain's natural memory consolidation process. You will wake up with a sense of peace, the initial cognitive dissonance gone. Because the conflict has been resolved, the strangers have won. They are no longer strangers. They are, and as far as your brain is concerned, always have been, your family. The third stage is confabulation and integration. Your brain, in its desire for a coherent narrative, will now begin to actively assist the parasite. It will create new, false memories to fill in the gaps. You will suddenly remember childhood vacations with the family from the photograph. You will recall the smell of the strange woman's perfume, the sound of the strange man's laugh. This is a neurological process called confabulation, where the brain generates fabricated memories to make sense of a confusing reality. The parasite doesn't need to create a complete life history. It only needs to plant the seeds. Your own mind, in its desperate attempt to maintain a stable sense of self, will cultivate those seeds into a sprawling, detailed, and utterly false past. At this point, if someone were to show you a picture of your real family, you would not recognize them. You would see them as strangers and feel nothing. The overwriting is complete. You have. What is the purpose of this invasion? We do not believe the parasite itself is conscious or malevolent in a way we can understand. It is an informational replicator. Its sole imperative is to copy itself. The memories it implants are not random. They are the memories of its previous host. The family in the photograph was a real family, the first victims of that particular strain of the parasite. When the parasite infected you, it transferred their memories, their identities, into your mind. You're not just losing your family, you are being colonized by the ghost of another. The parasite's ultimate goal is to compel you, through a powerful, artificially implanted nostalgia, to take a new photograph with your true family. The moment you press the shutter on an analog camera, the parasite copies itself from your mind onto the new, unexposed film, carrying the memories of the family from the original photograph with it. The process is then ready to begin again. You have become the unwitting carrier, the typhoid Mary of a plague that destroys identity. The parasite exhibits a strange limitation. It seems unable to infect digital media. The process of converting an image to binary data, a series of ones and zeros, appears to shatter the delicate, complex pattern of the parasite. It can only exist in the analog world, in the subtle, continuous gradients of a chemical photograph. This provides us with a defense, but also a deep, philosophical horror. It implies that our memories, our very identities, are not digital and discrete, but analog and continuous. They are, like a photograph, susceptible to being subtly altered, to having new information blended in so seamlessly that the original can no longer be distinguished. The parasite is a terrifying confirmation that you are not a collection of data that can be backed up and restored. You are a single, fragile analog recording, and once that recording has been tampered with, the original version is lost forever. There is no backup copy of you. A secondary effect of the infection is mnemonic rejection. Once your memories have been fully overwritten, your subconscious mind will begin to reject your physical reality. The home you grew up in will feel unfamiliar. The faces of your real family, should you encounter them, will trigger a sense of unease or even hostility. You will feel a profound and unshakable sense of homesickness for a place that does not exist and for people you have never met. This can lead to depression, isolation, and a complete withdrawal from your actual life. The parasite ensures its own survival by making you reject the very people who might be able to identify that something is wrong. It isolates its host from any potential cure. You will feel like a stranger in your own life because neurologically you are. You are an immigrant from a country of false memories, and you can never go home again. Can the process be reversed? The answer is, terrifyingly, no. Standard medical and psychological treatments are ineffective. Showing an infected individual pictures of their real family only increases their anxiety and reinforces their belief in the false memories. It's like trying to convince a computer that its core operating system is a virus. The system will identify the cure as the real threat. We have theorized that a process of forced mnemonic reconsolidation using targeted electromagnetic stimulation of the hippocampus could potentially work, but it is incredibly risky. The process would likely not restore the old memories, but simply destroy the new ones, leaving the patient in a state of total, profound amnesia. They would have no memory of any family, real or fabricated. They would be a blank slate, an identity erased completely. The choice is not between your true self and a false self. The parasite has a history. We have begun re-examining historical cases of mass hysteria, of individuals suddenly claiming to be from another family or another life. The changeling myths of European folklore, where a child is stolen and replaced by a fairy duplicate, may not be myths at all. They may be historical records of RMI infections interpreted through the lens of superstition. The parasite is not new. It has been coexisting with humanity for as long as we have had the technology to capture images. It is a silent, invisible plague that has been shaping human history from the shadows, one family at a time. The old, dusty photo album in your grandparents' attic is not just a collection of memories. It is a potential library of stolen identities, a catalog of the parasite's long and silent reign. The social implications are staggering. If identity is this fragile, what does that mean for our society? Our legal system is based on the reliability of memory and personal identity. How can you trust an eyewitness if their memory can be overwritten by a photograph? How can you define a person if their entire past can be replaced? The parasite exposes the terrifying truth that our sense of self is not a concrete, immutable thing. It is a story we tell ourselves, a narrative constructed from a fragile collection of neural connections. The parasite is not just a monster. It is a philosophical crisis. It is proof that we are not the authors of our own stories. We are merely the pages, and we are terrifyingly easy to rewrite. The foundations of our civilization are built on a neurological assumption that is proving to be false. The only defense is awareness. We're urging the public to treat all pre-1980 photographs as potential cognitive biohazards. Do not handle them without gloves. Do not stare at them for prolonged periods. If you must preserve them, we recommend creating a high-resolution digital scan and then destroying the physical original. As we discussed, the parasite cannot survive the process of digitization, the act of converting the analog image to binary data shatters its delicate structure. It is a rare case where the copy is safer than the original. You must sever the link to the past to protect your present. You must be willing to burn your own history to save your identity. It is a terrible choice, but it is the only one we have. The past is a minefield, and every photograph is a potential trigger. This broadcast is a warning. Go to your attic, check your old boxes. Look at the faces in the photographs you find. Do you know them? Or do you only feel like you know them? That feeling, that warmth, that nostalgia, it is not your own. It is a symptom. It is the echo of a stolen life implanted in your mind. The people in that picture are not your family. They are a virus, and they are waiting for you to help them spread. This broadcast will now repeat. We urge you to listen and then to act. Your mind, your memories, your very self, they are more fragile than you could ever imagine. Protect them. Do not let the ghosts of the past claim your future. Do not become another page in their story.